Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel arraigns 2 people in a signature fraud ring. Last I checked, Dana Nessel is not really our ally though, so I'm surprised anyone's even getting arraigned at all. Or are they arraigning people just to make it look like they're doing stuff? Oh, we're doing our job, guys. We got some people. Yeah, you know, we're just not going to get the rest of the 98% of them, right? They're saying one suspect is still at large, but that's, you know, that's just in this case. There's probably a bunch of other cases. Anyways, there are finally charges being brought for fraudulent signatures regarding one state's elections. However, it is not the universal mail-in ballot signatures, which have been highly scrutinized but seldom investigated for legitimacy, that are the issue. No, instead, it is another example of a dummy crap politician eliminating a front-runner's candidate from running from the opposing party. Wow, what the heck? Michigan AG Dana Nessel, who was booed off stage at an arts and crafts festival in Biden's +10 district, but later re-elected, has brought charges against 3 individuals who have been accused of conducting a criminal enterprise and other charges related to 2022's GOP primaries in Michigan. It says Sean Wilmoth and Jamie Wilmoth Goodwin were arrested Wednesday night and arraigned in 37th District Court Thursday afternoon on more than 24 charges. A third suspected individual, Willie Reed, is believed to be living outside the state of Michigan. Nessel also said that there may be other lesser crimes charged to other individuals. The charges stem from a total of $700,000 that was paid to the defendants from the 9 separate campaigns in Michigan. According to charging documents, the defendants allegedly knew that thousands of signatures they submitted in petitions were fraudulent. Oh. As a result of the fraudulent signature operation, several Michigan gubernatorial candidates were left off the primary ballot, including frontrunner former Detroit Police Chief James Craig and businessman Perry Johnson. Yeah, I believe this was a case. This was a case when one of the candidates who was they needed to petition to be able to run, right? They hired an organization to acquire signatures, and you know normally they go to like supermarket and oh, would you nominate this person to run for office and right? And then so the guy who they paid to do that just basically signed it himself. All the signatures were the same. So yeah, the candidate got in trouble for it. I suppose the candidate probably should have looked at it, you know, but the fact that they're only going after them and not all the other election fraud out there in Michigan, it says that this is political, right? Oh, we're only going to arrest the Republican criminals, right? Anyways, Perry Johnson, who exhausted $7.5 million on a campaign before abruptly being removed from the ballot. Johnson has since thrown his name into the mix as a long shot for the GOP presidential nominee. Last year, Craig claimed a lawsuit that Vanguard Field Strategies subcontract signature gathering to the field strategists who promised a 70% acceptance rate of signatures gathered. However, infield strategies ended up subcontracting yet again to the defendant's company, where they only garnered a 30% validity rate. Nessel claims that these candidates got taken because they were political neophytes. The absurdity of the issue is that Craig was the leading candidate in polling for the Republican Party when he was ruled ineligible. Essentially, the front-running GOP candidate in polls was denied a spot in a primary ballot by the Democrat Secretary of State because he didn't have 15,000 signatures accumulated. The Michigan Supreme Court declined to take up Craig's appeal. Notably, Jeff Landberg, an expert witness in Bailey versus Antrim County, discovered programming anomalies in the 2020 Michigan Supreme Court race that flipped the court from Republican to Democrat. You can view that excerpt right there if you want. Look for this article. Apparently, checking signatures on petitions for candidacy, especially as the leading candidate in the opposition party, is serious business. Checking signatures on mail-in ballots, not so much. The city of Detroit uses Koenig software for their absent voter scanning. As the Gateway Pundit reported back in November 2022, Detroit was using a software from disgraced Connect election systems, which had charges brought and dropped by the LA District Attorney for allegedly storing personal voter data on Chinese servers. However, Connect has also dropped their lawsuit against True the Vote's Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips last April. Yeah, what a mess, man. What a mess. In Detroit City Council meeting on October 14th of 2020, Timothy Gaffney, the Detroit manager of elections, said this about the county's use of Connect systems. He said, so the point of this Connect contract was for us to actually move the ability to mass scan absentee voter applications. Right now, it's a manual process where we have to actually enter them in one by one to get them done. So what we had to do was construct a software where we can scan 2,000 applications in a minute, and then download a CSV file and upload it to our qualified voter file. He also added, actually what we would do is actually pull a file from our qualified voter file. We match the voter information with the voter ID number. So from that process, the way we have it, because Koenig built it for us. The way it's actually developed is it matches both names, pulls the signature off the application, it matches, it puts signatures side by side from the application and also from the qualified voter file. So a human would still be there saying that the person's signature is this person's signature. That file is then uploaded to our qualified voter file. The qualified voter file will give us an error report if anything doesn't match. But we store it overseas in Pandaland, right? Anyways, guys, the npcshow.com is live. Please check it out. Sign up for the newsletter on the right hand side. I will send you an email when I go live.